Okay, so now you are saying, hey, Grandpa, show me some images of severe weather so I can understand better. And obviously, I go and try to find the figures, and when I can, I buy the books. But Amazon says you cannot buy this book in India. Then, if I go to buy it from the US side, it says, but you are not living in the US, so you cannot buy it. So nothing is easy in life. They want to make money, but they also are worried about whether I will cheat them in some ways or so and so forth. So here are some images of severe weather from the National Geographic, which has a section on environment and extreme weather. I have the reference here. So here is some nice snowy mountain from somewhere, and here is a volcano, I think, that is spewing out all this ash into the sky and all these fiery things, and the lightning is related to that, because lightning, remember, we are not going to get into the details, but basically lightning happens when you build a huge difference in charges, ions, from the ground to the sky. If you don't know what that means, do not worry about it, but I'm sure you can find some YouTube channels, YouTube videos talking about what a lightning is. My ear is hurting from this headphone pressing on it. So here are the examples. A very nice winter storm which has frozen up this nice lighthouse here. You can see there is a bridge to walk to the lighthouse, and there is a cable that has covered with ice, and there is ice all over the place, and you cannot even open these doors if you go there now, and this is probably dangerous to walk here anyways, because ice, when it builds up, can get very heavy, like a glacier can get heavy and push the land down. You can have heavy ice, and sometimes things can break and roofs can collapse, so always be careful walking around in these things, and these icicles can fall down and can be dangerous. But the point is, with global warming, we increase the temperatures and increase water vapor, but we also produce strong storms in the winter. Okay, so it's not just summer that gets affected, or spring or fall. Different types of extreme weather, severe weather happen in every season, in every place. And here is a tornado which is kicking up all this dust and material, and there is a little house sitting there, and we don't know what happens to it. Sometimes the tornado just misses one house and hits the next house, or lifts the house completely and puts it down somewhere, and so on. Tornado is also a rotating system, like a cyclone or a hurricane. You may have seen already images of cyclones and hurricanes, and maybe I'll include some here. Pause in a minute and show you those. Those are also severe weather events. Weather events are anything that happen from a day to few days, and if it goes for longer, if a season gets warmer, then that is a change in the climate, right? If a decade gets warmer, that's a change in climate. So weather is just day to day. As we said, climate is what we expect on any given day, but weather is what we get. So remembering that, tornadoes are very common in some parts of the US, but India also gets tornadoes, and you have to watch out for the news next time, because you may be living in a place where that tornado never happens, and your parents have never seen it, Grandpa has never seen it, and Grandma has never seen it, but somebody may have read about it. They may say, yes, over Kolkata there was a tornado, I remember I read about it. So you can go and find. So tornadoes are these very small rotating systems which basically take energy from the water vapor that's in it, just like we do in the clouds, and produce rain, and they can go around depending on what the winds are doing, and people chase them to study how they are forming and what they are doing when they are getting strong, and so on. So tornadoes are also severe weather. And again, the question is, are tornadoes becoming more in number? Are they occurring in different seasons than before? Are they getting stronger than before? These are the questions. Stronger and more frequent and different seasons based on what? Based again on increasing greenhouse gases, increasing water vapor in the atmosphere, changing winds and changing oceans, and so on and so forth. Here is a flood. This man is not being very safe here. Maybe he is stuck and trying to survive, but you do not want to do these things, and there is a person standing with an umbrella, and if you're a kid, you definitely want to stay away from these situations because you can get washed away. And this is a flood, but it is different in the sense it probably rained very heavily and water is pouring down these steps, and it is very unsafe, looks dangerous. In fact, this is why you worry about how rainfall is changing. If it is decreasing, and it can cause drought, damage crops in one way. If it is pouring heavily, then the drainage system or the way the water goes away after rain cannot handle such heavy rain. So then it begins to build up and flow over the steps and sink the roads and get the car stuck, and so on and so forth. Okay, so again, always be careful. The question again is, are these getting more and more in number? Is the rain getting more intense? So thunderstorms, if you have warm temperatures and a lot of water vapor, you will have a lot of energy in the atmosphere. Why? Because the water vapor condenses and releases this heat. Remember, evaporation takes the energy from the ocean or the surface, land surface or the lake, and that energy is released into the atmosphere when the water condenses, and you can have these thunderstorms build very rapidly and create scary lightning and thunder sounds. And if you are sleeping or sitting peacefully at home, you may get scared by the noise and the lightning and so on and so forth. So be careful as well. And as the water vapor increases and temperatures in the atmosphere can produce hail, and there is some evidence that in some places the hail is getting larger. For reference, here is a baseball in the US, and they always say baseball sized hail fell somewhere in Oklahoma or Texas or wherever. In India, this can be a cricket ball, and we can say cricket ball sized hails are falling from the sky. And what is bad about it? Well, you can definitely get hurt. Your car, your father's car may get smashed, and you have to be careful because it may hit the apple trees and damage the apples as it does in the Himalayan mountains of India, and orange crops may get damaged, and crops like rice and wheat and whatever else can get damaged, and so on. So hail can do lots of damage, and the question is hail increasing with global warming and climate change? Is it getting bigger? And so on and so forth. There is some evidence in some places that's exactly what is happening. And here is a landslide that we mentioned before. Here is a mountain slope, and there are some hapless people standing and watching, and hopefully nobody got hurt in this car because there is a road here. It is peacefully driving along, and suddenly there is some rain and the mountain slope gets loose and then slides down and creates mudslides or landslide. Mudslide is when you get lots of soil, soggy soil coming down, and when you get a lot of rock like this, it can be a landslide. And obviously this is dangerous because houses can fall down, people will get hurt, and it'll take a long time to repair the roads and make it safe again, and so on and so forth. And the question is climate change making landslides and mudslides worse, or have we built houses in a dangerous way on the slopes without being careful, so that as rainfall increases, we are just making chances of landslide and mudslide increase because of our actions? We are increasing greenhouse gases and making rains heavier, and we have built on slopes in a bad, poor manner, and we are making rain combine with the slope building to create these landslides. So everything is about how we are affecting weather, and how the weather is getting more severe, and how the severe weather is affecting us. Again, I put too much space here. There we go. Okay, I should check every time, but I am not paying attention because I'm excited to record the podcast for you and talk about things and explain things to you. So you can ignore all these aesthetic things. People who are strict about how to make videos will tell me that there is light coming into my eyes, so you cannot see my eyes, and that's not a good thing. But you can just listen to the podcast and not worry about how I look. Okay, see you in the next podcast with more on extreme weather.